It's being called the biggest fight in boxing.
Gervonta took another fight. What do you think about that fight against that 130-pound fighter?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Gervonta, from what I understand, wanted the fight in January. It was Ryan Garcia that wanted another fight in between. And Gervonta could have taken anyone on. He could have taken on some stumble bum. He didn't. He took on a real fighter, 130-pound champion, who, if you think about it, has a case for being called one of the top fighters of the year this year, with his 2 wins over Colbert and a win over Gutierrez. That's a great year for Hector Garcia. So he's coming in confident, with momentum, fighting a guy who's not going to be like physically taller than him or physically bigger than him, because Gervonta really is kind of 130 up to 135. It's a tough fight. I think Gervonta's power will eventually be the difference maker, but I think that I give him credit for taking on such a dangerous fight with a mega fight looming in April.
Do you believe that Ryan Garcia and Tank finally happens, or?
I think it happens. I think everybody's on the same page when it comes to the network agreement. Everybody's on the same page when it comes to finances. I give Ryan's side a lot of credit. They were saying we'll be the B side all the way through, so they never made that a big issue when it comes to making this fight. And then when it happens, I've said it every time, first guy to land big wins. That's it. Simple as that. Like, you can talk about the details, you can talk about the jab and the elusiveness or whatever. First guy to land a big shot wins.
I think there's a really big difference between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis. At the time of this recording, July 17, 2022, Ryan Garcia just pulled off his 19th KO and 23rd win overall. He did this in the 6th round against Javier Fortuna when he knocked him out with his signature left hook. And what seems like tradition at this point, Ryan Garcia would call out Gervonta Davis in the post-fight interview.
But I will fight Tank next. If Tank wants that at 140, I'm gonna record all the negotiations so you guys don't make no headlines saying I'm ducking. If he want it, let's get it.
Necessarily see how Tank Davis wins. But I don't see Ryan Garcia winning. Listen to me close. When I look at that matchup, I don't see how Tank Davis wins. I just don't see Ryan Garcia winning. Listen.
In one corner, you have Baltimore's own, training in the Upton Boxing Center since he was 5 years old, the decorated KO specialist, Gervonta Tank Davis. In another corner, the Mexican-American social media superstar who trains out of California and rising lightweight contender, Ryan Garcia, each with an unforgettable legend in the promotional corner.
Kid that come from the same background as you, and helping them and put them in a position to become a multi-millionaire. You know, you meet a kid, he come up to you for an autograph. You sign an autograph for him, then I tell him, in a few years when you get older, I'm gonna work with you and I'm gonna make you world champion someday. Years later, I started working with him, helped him, pushed him to be great. And if he feels like, you know, he's grew wings where he can fly and become his own boss, more power to him. I didn't get into the sport of boxing.
The fact that Ryan fights tall, which is going to be very interesting, but I think that, you know, whoever makes the first mistake,
you guys gotta stop here.
You know, is obviously gonna get the short end of the stick. But I see though Ryan and Tank want each other so bad. I think styles are gonna go out the window and they're gonna clash. That's all I see.
How do you look to you based on this last performance now coming into this Ryan fight?
I have to give Ryan the advantage, not just because he's with Golden Boy, but look, Tank's a beast. He is. I mean, I remember a long time ago I said, man, don't fight Tank, not just yet. Tank is a beast. I remember saying that at the StubHub. Yeah, when somebody asked me and I said, you know what, this guy's a beast. So, but now I have to give Ryan the advantage because Ryan's a fighter who fights tall and throws that snap jab with the right hand, that check hook. I mean, if he catches Tank coming in, it's sayonara, it's goodbye, it's good night.
Gervonta Davis was discovered by Floyd Mayweather early on in his career. Since then, the PBC fighter has been given a spotlight to show off his vicious KO style. This style and high intensity has an impressive 90% KO record in his 28 straight professional wins, and it paid off, turning Tank into a mainstream pay-per-view attraction. Tank is no stranger to selling out crowds in stadiums and arenas all over the country: New York, California, Baltimore, Florida, and even Washington, D.C. It's rare in this day and age that a boxer can capture so much attention and draw truly impressive crowds. Usually boxing politics reign on these parades, which only makes Tank's feats that much more impressive.
And it's Davis emptying the fusillade on Pedraza. Vicious right hand! Pedraza goes down!
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And this fight is over! Gervonta Davis at 22 becomes the youngest champion in boxing!
Ryan Garcia is on the other side, boasting an unimaginable 9.1 million Instagram followers. The young Californian has a bright future in the sunny state. He draws a new type of crowd, one that his promoters hope will convert to similar pay-per-view and arena sellouts as Tank. Younger audiences, who are more tech-savvy and less boxing enthused, are ready to watch their pretty boy fly. Garcia is not just a pretty face or a golden boy, though. Taking some big shots from the like of Campbell, Fortuna, and Tego, Ryan has tasted adversity and always comes back. His speed and power are something Tank has yet to deal with.
See it, your young body shot, and he goes down, and now Campbell is down on a knee, 2 knees. He's asking questions. He's asking, do I want to get up? Can I get up? It is over! Ryan King Ryan Garcia!
And there's that left hook. Campbell thought he was going to come up top. And it went downstairs right on the liver. There was no way Campbell wanted anything to do with getting up after that punch.
Describe what Luke Campbell was feeling right here.
Anticipated super fights. Would this fight even be competitive? Would this fight even be close? What I'm trying to say is that there is a big difference between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis, and I think the difference is so big that this fight would not even be close. This is why Gervonta Davis is levels above Ryan Garcia. So first, let's go over some basic stats.
Ryan Garcia is the younger fighter, with less fights under his belt. Naturally, his resume trails behind Tank's a bit. But that's to be expected. Keeping this in mind, Ryan's resume is not as thin as some might say. His first professional test came in Jason Velez, a vicious Puerto Rican who vowed to kill Garcia in the ring. Velez did not kill Ryan, but did take him the distance, and taught Garcia a valuable lesson in what it means to be a professional. Another test came in Morales. Not as tough as the Puerto Rican, Morales was full of excuses for why he lost, but the fighter gave Garcia another lesson in preparation and what to expect between the ropes. Ryan's fight against a notably unrecognized Rodriguez may not have given him much of a test, but it did give him the confidence to start scoring the big knockouts that would pave the way to boxing stardom. Romero Durdo was Ryan's biggest test yet. So much so that some accused the young social media star of ducking this fight, until Ryan inevitably defeated Durdo soundly. Coming off a loss to Gervonta Davis, Fonseca stated that his experience would be enough to overcome Ryan's advantages. Many believed this would be a long night for Ryan, if he could come out on top. Ryan silenced doubters when he KO'd Fonseca far earlier and in far more impressive fashion than his rival Tank Davis. Ryan Garcia's most impressive win came in the form of British titleist Luke Campbell. A man who went the distance with both Lomachenko and Jorge Linares, Campbell dropped Ryan, who came back to destroy Campbell with a powerful body shot. Campbell would go on to describe it as the hardest shot he's ever taken. At the 140-pound division, Ryan faced decent tests in Tego and Fortuna, showing some improvement with new trainer Joe Gusek.
You're gonna find out if Garcia's there yet. I think we think Tank's there pretty much. Not that he can't be tested more. He can, but he's been tested a little bit more, I think, so far. A little bit more than Garcia. Garcia's biggest test so far has probably been the Campbell fight, where he stepped up in a top guy with Campbell, and he got dropped. He got off the floor, and he behaved the way a champion's supposed to behave, and he got the job done.
Most would agree that Gervonta Davis's resume is much deeper than Garcia's, accrediting this to his first big test in his professional career. Jose Pedraza, another opponent who went the distance with the legendary Lomachenko. Davis remains the only man to stop this vicious fighter, who still was a contender for title shots as late as last year. Davis would follow this incredible performance by stopping unknown British fighter Liam Walsh, who believed the fight was stopped early. Davis also has Fonseca under his belt, though Davis couldn't make the weight and took a bit longer to take out the fighter than his rival Garcia. Jesus Cuar accused Tank of ducking him, resulting in Tank's famous statement that he doesn't care the name, he'll fight anyone. He stopped Cuar in 3 rounds. Davis's next notable win came at the cost of a larger Gamboa, who was injured during their bout, but Tank proved that it likely would not have made a difference. Santa Cruz and Mario Barrios found Tank in some trouble, but ultimately, Tank caught up with the fighters to knock them out clean. Will this be the scene against Garcia? Recently, Davis found success against the likes of Rolly Romero and Hector Garcia, both impressive performances by Davis against legit names in his division. The public now wants the super fight that's been brewing for 5+ years.
Nah, I don't think neither one of them fight each other. I would be surprised if it happens. I mean, it's boxing, anything can happen, but I would be surprised.
Who would you favor in that fight?
I don't know. It depends on what weight that the fight happens at. Obviously, we know that Ryan is at 140 now. I don't know. Right now, I'm favoring Ryan Garcia, but Tank obviously has that one-punch knockout power. But Ryan does too. Ryan's much bigger. Ryan's faster, but Tank got way more experience than him. So I think that's a good ass fight. I can't really say.
Gonna be one of those fights where you don't want to miss, that's for sure. Good to see you, brother. I think that Ryan has the speed, the power, the intellect, the ring generalship. He has that height. He has, the quick twitch movements. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch.
This is a pick'em fight. Gervonta Tank Davis is no stranger to trouble, as we mentioned with Santa Cruz. Tank often waits and anticipates punches. He then adjusts to move in closer to his opponent. This may prove a problem when Ryan's impressive speed comes into play. Tank also has a habit of guarding on the ropes. He's actually quite good at rolling out of punches to come out. But this leaves him looking like he's getting beaten up, and like Ryan might have control. And not only that, but if a shot finds a way through, Ryan is bigger and stronger than most Tank opponents. The two fighters' stances will also give Ryan an opportunity to land that body shot that destroyed Luke Campbell right on the liver of Gervonta Davis. Overcommitting will be an issue for either fighter, but more so for Tank, as Ryan will clearly have the reach in this fight. Ryan Garcia's style often sees him coming straight at his opponent in a linear fashion, something especially dangerous against a fighter with fancy footwork like Lomachenko or Mayweather. Tank, for example, uses lateral movement to set up traps that will work perfectly against Ryan's linear style. Ryan also tended to drop his hands often against Fortuna. While Campbell landed a respectable shot, you don't want Davis to land something like that. I mentioned their positioning before. Tank will more easily find the lead foot, as Ryan is one to give it up in fights, which will make it all the more easy for Gervonta to land a dangerous counter. Combine that with Ryan's tendency to overextend, and it may spell disaster for the young fighter. Outside the ring, the two fighters have again found themselves in trouble. Ryan Garcia has made his battle with mental health public, opening himself up on what is often a difficult subject. In a sport of macho kings, mental health is a subject easily ignored. Depression, anxiety, and other sickness have no place in a sport where the toughest of the tough thrive on taking punishment.
About another great athlete from Southern California. We're talking about Ryan Garcia. Let's show you some video of him. What a weekend Ryan Garcia had. After canceling a championship fight last year to battle depression, he finally faced his opponent and won by technical knockout.
An in-ring comeback for hometown hero who's going public about his mental health. Fox 11's Christy Fajardo joining us with more. An incredible story here.
Yeah, it really is, and it was a especially sweet victory for Ryan Garcia because Javier Fortuna, who was his opponent, was among those who had mocked him for stepping back last year. And the 23-year-old wanted to show them all mental health struggles didn't make him weak, but overcoming them made him tougher and tougher to beat.
It's one thing to get knocked down, it's another thing to get back and keep going.
The cheers of a hometown crowd and a lot to fight for at Crypto.com Arena.
We all may stumble.
Before Ryan Garcia Victorville could land these punches, he had to overcome blows from critics.
Boxing is not as forgiving as other areas, other careers.
It was just last year that a knockout won him the interim WBC lightweight title, a feat he'd been training a lifetime for. But even as he was undefeated in the ring, the 23-year-old says anxiety and depression had him on the ropes.
This is just an example. If I look right, it goes left, or if I look left, it goes right. If I look up, it goes down. I just didn't know where to go. It was that crazy. My mind was just like, I'm losing it. Something happened to me. I don't know what happened. And I couldn't settle myself down, no matter how hard I tried.
After having suicidal thoughts, he canceled a fight with Javier Fortuna.
Trust me, I could have pushed it away and took $3 million.
And went public with his struggles.
At first, I didn't even want to do it publicly, but, I said, this might help people.
It's a decision, he says, that cost him his title and came with a label.
I just won the best fight of my life, but now they decide to say I'm a coward when I just fought a war, just got up off the canvas, knocked the guy out that never been knocked out. He was a gold medalist, and I was getting so much praise, but the moment I decided that I'm not okay, then I became weak.
But Garcia also had supporters, including Justin Bieber, who FaceTimed to tell him he was praying for him. Garcia prayed too.
In truth, everyone has a demon to battle, and it was important to Garcia to bring these issues to light. Being so young and popular, we've been able to see how this battle has helped Ryan grow and mature. In the opposite corner, Gervonta Davis battles a different demon.
For that update, and developing now at noon, a well-known boxer is in jail right now following his arrest in Parkland.
Gervonta Davis is facing a domestic violence charge. It comes after he's had a host of past legal troubles. So let's go over to local 10 News reporter Roy Ramos.
Yeah, he's live outside the jail in Fort Lauderdale with the latest.
Alexis and Sanella, this all happened just 11 days before his next scheduled professional fight. We've just gathered new details from the Broward Sheriff's Office as to what happened. We'll get to those in a little bit, but I want to show you what he looks like. You're looking at the mugshot of 28-year-old star boxer Gervonta Davis. He was arrested Tuesday night by Broward Sheriff deputies following what they described as a domestic incident at his Parkland home. And we've just gathered these new details that say he was involved in some sort of an altercation with a woman who he does not live with when he allegedly struck her in the face with a closed fist, causing an injury to her mouth. That said, he did face a Broward County judge this morning, and while Davis didn't have anything to say in court, his bond was set at $1,000, a bond he is expected to post later today. Now, if Davis looks familiar, that's because he's a professional boxer with a record of 27 wins, no losses, with 25 of those wins by knockout. He was arrested just 11 days before his next scheduled fight on January 7th in Washington, D.C., where he was expected to face Hector Luis Garcia. Still no word on if this arrest will change those plans. Now, unfortunately, Davis is no stranger to the law. In fact, he has been arrested several times in the past few years, including in 2020 after he was seen on video grabbing his ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of his child, by the throat at a celebrity basketball game. Now, Davis is expected to post that $1,000 bond today. He is expected to walk out of the Broward County Jail, and when he does, we'll be sure to ask him about those charges and what exactly happened. For now, here in Fort Lauderdale, Roy Ramos, Local 10 News.
While some would argue Davis is unfairly treated by media and boxing fans, none can deny that the superstar has found himself at the wrong end of the law before. He's even criticized by those who profit most off of him being an unapologetic, hyper-violent fighter.
The dangerous thing about Gervonta Davis, and this is one of the things that makes him as dangerous as he is he's not a deep thinker. You know, he's not an articulate young man. You know, he's a bad kid. Like, and I say that, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm talking about, this is a kid He's a bad
You know, pretty much a walk in the park. He dominated, you know, for me. Hector's a 130 pounder, man. You know, I didn't think anything different of it. I mean, the fact that he's facing another southpaw interests me a bit, but I knew Tank was gonna get the job done. You know, he didn't land that hard kill shot to end the night in dramatic fashion, but you know, he still landed what he needed to land to get the knockout win. But you know, I think that you know, Heyman and Mayweather Promotions, they've done a great job with him, building him. Great job building the brand. Okay, you got the brand now. The kid is a star. The kid sells out arenas. Now it's time to give him his career. You know, the Hall of Fame career. I'm right here on the soil, right here. You know, Hall of Fame ain't nothing but a few minutes away from here. You know, that's what Tank should be thinking about, man. Want to be remembered for the rest of his career. I mean, the money is great, you know, but man, get in there and fight somebody, bro. Fight somebody. Fight somebody that we all know, somewhere where we don't know who's gonna win the fight. Take that risk, because yes, you're now known. Everybody know you. The brand is built. But can we get the fights now? The people want to see.
Speaking of big fight with Ryan Garcia on the horizon, how important is that for the sport of boxing that fight gets done?
You know what? It's important for Ryan Garcia. To be honest with you, I mean, you know, everybody is hot and cold on Ryan Garcia, including myself. We're not sure what he is. Is he a social media darling or is he a fighter? You know, but stepping up and wanting to face a guy like Tank, who has that punching power, that one-punch knockout power, to me, the kid, he deserves a ton of respect. So, you know, I'm no longer gonna coddle and say that Ryan Garcia isn't ready for Tank. I'm no longer gonna say that. You know why? Because when you really think about it, he was the guy that stopped. Who was the guy that he stopped in Campbell? Lomachenko fought Campbell. I remember that. I was there calling that at the O2 Arena. He stopped him in the O2 Arena, and not only did he stop him, he went down and got up and stopped Campbell, which was a great fight, which shows his heart, which shows his determination. So, is he ready? You know what? Damn it, he's ready. He's ready. He's already tasted the canvas. He knows what that feels like. You know, he can punch. He has great size over Tank as well. You know, and I'm rooting for him. I want him to win, because I'm not a fan of Tank. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fan of him. I'm not a fan of what he does and how the way he operates outside the ring. You know, and I want Ryan Garcia to knock his ass out.
In these cases, Davis is the bad guy, an impressive boxer who can't seem to keep his cool outside the ring. Recent post-fight interviews give hope that the fighter will turn a new leaf and be sort of his figure for young up-and-coming fighters to look up to. But all this might not matter, as he awaits trial for a hit-and-run charge to be decided this month, putting the fight in jeopardy.
World boxing champ and Baltimore native Gervonta Davis was involved in a hit-and-run accident. The police department would not confirm if Davis was the driver, but WJZ has obtained video of a crash at the exact scene where this happened. And that's where we find Abijoy Burnett right now, live with more on this developing story. Abijoy.
Well, Denise, sources tell WJZ that Gervonta Tank Davis was in a Lamborghini truck when it crashed right here at this intersection. It's not clear if he was the driver or passenger, but we were able to get our hands on surveillance video. This is a video of a vehicle crashing into a fence at the corner of Martin Luther King and Washington Boulevards. Moments later, someone gets out from the driver's side. The passenger door also swings open. Then they appear to walk away. Sources tell WJZ World Boxing champ Gervonta Tank Davis was in that vehicle, but police have not confirmed if he was the driver or passenger. Baltimore City police say they got the call for a collision early Thursday morning, sometime around 1:50. The department says preliminary information revealed a vehicle ran a red light and hit another vehicle. Someone told police the driver then left the scene. Officers also say several victims had minor injuries. Davis is fresh off of a big win in the past weekend, where he defended his WBA lightweight championship. Flyers circulated on social media about a celebration for him earlier in the night in a nightclub downtown.
A law enforcement source tells WJZ Davis arrived at the club around midnight and he left about 1:30. Less than 30 minutes later, surveillance captured the crash. Police are asking people to come forward if they know anything.
And once again, guys, Baltimore City Police have not confirmed exactly who was involved in this crash. Live at 6, Joy Burnett for WJZ.
A clash between these two lightweight kings is destined to make the world take notice of boxing once again. Not only is this fight a public mega event, but both fighters need this win to prove they are who they say they are. Ryan is often criticized as nothing more than a social media star. This would be his chance to prove himself a boxer. Tank has been criticized for not having a real big name on his resume, despite Tank being an aging fighter at 28, coming on 29. Ryan Garcia, despite not being a champion, would be that name to legitimize Gervonta Davis. Thank you for watching, fight fans. If you enjoy this video, I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe for more boxing content coming soon.